work, and today I don't really know what I'm going to be vlogging about. I'm going to come back to it later on when I'm back at home and I've had a bit more of a think. This is my second shake of the day and it is quite late on. It's now 4:10. Just been a bit busy today at work, so I've not had a chance to actually have it. So it's just one of them, falling behind today, and I think tea might be a bit late as well. So we'll come back to that and I'll see you back home in a bit. So I'm back home now and I've just had my third shaker for the day. Now, one of the things I was going to discuss today was how Huel is affecting me, other than just say the lack of my other foods I like. Now, something that I noticed when I first started Huel, and it's not so much apparent now, is when I first started eating Huel was my bowel habits. Now, might not be the most pleasant of things to talk about, but where I work, you're literally on call every minute of the day. So you have a walkie-talkie, you're walking around with a walkie-talkie, and if somebody radios you, you've literally got to respond to that radio quite quickly. And there was a couple of circumstances where Huel had said, you know, it's time to go to the toilet, and then your bowels have no other say in the matter, and inadvertently you get a call on the radio. Makes for an interesting time. Anyway, so apart from that, if you're working in an office job or anything like that, it's probably not an issue. But if you're somewhere where going off to the toilet unexpectedly could cause an issue, maybe you want to feather yourself in on Huel, where maybe, I don't know, if you're going to do it probably when you're actually having some days off. So you do your first week. Because I would say, for me personally, it was about day 5 or 6 when I first started it. Back in November that I started noticing it. Since then my bowels have completely settled down, there's not a problem anymore, but that was a bit of an issue. Now, the reason why I mention that is because today I've noticed, and I've been paying more attention to it, that maybe it's because I'm solely on this Huel that I seem to have a lot of reflux in my throat all the time, and it's not the most pleasant of experiences to have in your throat all the time. It's just one of them. It's just quite strange. The other thing I've noticed recently that I think that I was trying to pinpoint why I'm struggling. So in the day, like yesterday, I think I only had 2 shakers of Huel yesterday. Now, I think the problem is, and I've thought about this today when I was at work. So I'd have my first shaker. The first shaker would go down fine, not a problem. It come to the second shaker. Now, because Huel does such a good job at getting rid of your hunger. It doesn't get rid of your cravings. It hasn't done for me yet anyway, but it gets rid of your hunger, not a problem. You'll drink the first one, and then because you're trying to fit in, say, 3, and then whatever else, the timings for me personally, I'm trying to fit in 2, and they're quite close together at work. Now, because the first ones really smash that hunger really quickly, when it comes to time to drinking your second one, you're like, I don't really feel like having it. Which is why today it was 4 o'clock by the time I was having my second one, because I just didn't feel hungry. So I'd gone from 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon on just one shaker, and I was like, and even when I was drinking the 4 o'clock one, I must admit it wasn't a glugging it down session. It was literally I'm just sipping this now because I really don't feel like I need to drink it. Now, when it came to tea time tonight, thankfully, obviously, by the time I get home from work, I had a chap come round, he collected some fish off me tonight. So by the time I'd messed around and sorted all that out, got Isaac to bed and all that, it was about 9 o'clock before I'd even settled down with my Huel shaker. At the moment, it's just gone 10:30. So you're literally talking that between the last 12 hours, so from 9 o'clock this morning, one shaker ended up lasting me till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I had another shaker at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which I ended up taking probably over half an hour period because I just didn't want to. It's not because of the taste or anything like that. It's just my body was saying. I mean, the best way I can liken this is imagine you've just gone out for, say, you've had a big meal, like a big mixed grill or a big Sunday dinner, and then 2 hours later somebody says to you, hey, I've got a lasagna for you, let's try and eat that, and you're like, ugh. And that's pretty much how I felt this afternoon. And it's been happening a few days recently, which is probably why I've been, I wouldn't say purposefully missing out eating a Huel, it's just I've been knocking the time back further and further to try and wait until my body is ready to be hungry. Now, the only thing I can think of with this, now, if I have my Huel cereal in the morning, which is a couple of hundred calories, then after having my cereal, let's say if I have my cereal at 6 o'clock in the morning, I then try and get down the first shaker at 9 o'clock. That's going to give me another 500 calories-ish. Then you're not feeling hungry until 4 o'clock. But ideally, you need to have had your second shaker by about 1 o'clock. So then by 6 or 7 o'clock, you're hungry enough to have your second shaker. And for me at the moment, I'm still trying to find this balance of what times to drink it. It's just one of them at the moment. I don't know. I honestly don't know how else to say this. The only thing that I've got that benefits me when I'm at work, I find drinking Huel at work a lot easier than drinking it at home, and that's for one simple reason. At home, I'll literally have it straight out the tap. I'll run the tap for a minute or two, but you say the water's only coming out at 10 degrees at the most, even when you've been running the tap for a while. It's cold, but it's not really cold. Now at work, we've got water chillers. The main's fed, but they're actually chilled down, and they're really good because the water comes out probably about 3 or 4 degrees. And because of that, when you make the Huel is ice cold, and it's brilliant. And I don't know why, but when it's ice cold, you can literally down it. Even if you don't want to down it, you can just throw it straight down. For some reason, it just slides down so much easier when it's really cold. Going back to, I mentioned this in a previous vlog, that on my very first day, when I was drinking the Huel, I found it so incredibly hard to drink. And that's because I made it at 6 o'clock at night, and I was working a night shift. I remember it very well. I was working a night shift when I first drank it. Made it at 6 o'clock, got to midnight, and I went to drink my first shaker, and it was warm. And I mean room temperature. It was unpalatable. It's about the best way I can say it. And I really wish I'd actually attacked it a different way, because that very nearly put me off it altogether. But I persevered with it. I listened to a few guys at work, because that was the first time ever having like a proteiny kind of shake, and they said, "I can't believe you're letting it go warm. It must be vile." And to be fair, even Huel says on their own website, and I think it might even say on the bag here, you need to make sure you're having it, ice cold, with even ice in it sometimes. And since I've listened to that advice, it's making a big difference. Now, cravings wise, no, they've still not changed. Like I said, we're on day 5. I could quite happily go out and destroy a pizza, kebab, anything really. It's not getting any easier yet. I won't say it's getting any harder, because it can't really get much harder than wanting to eat anything that you see. But it's definitely not getting any easier. So Gina messaged me earlier on when I was at work, and she asked me if I could go and pick some stuff up from the shop, just to go and bits and pieces bring home, like a loaf and butter and whatever else. And as supermarkets do, for no apparent reason, obviously to make sure that you buy as much as possible, they put the milk and the butter at one end of the supermarket and the bread is at the other. The two main things that you're going to buy, they put them at opposite ends, with eggs as well. Eggs and bread are normally at one end, milk and butter at the opposite end, to make you walk through the shop. And this is when you get you're thinking to yourself, I've got to kind of show some self-control here, because I could just quite easily go up to the chilled aisle. There's a nice chicken and mushroom slice here. Let's just go and buy a chicken and mushroom slice. I could just sit in the car and devour it. Nobody's going to know. And then I started thinking to myself, well, hang on. Okay, I know I've not really got that many subscribers or even people who watch these videos, but what happens if one person sees that and then they comment, as internet trolls do? Say, "I saw you in Asda the other night and you were scoffing a chicken and mushroom pie like a man possessed." And to be honest, I probably would have been. I probably wouldn't even made it beyond the counter. I just mushed it into my face. But I did. I persevered and got back out of the shop quite easily. I realised after I got out of the shop that I had mentioned to Gina earlier on that we needed to get something else. And it wasn't on the list that Gina sent me. So I rang Gina and I said, "Do we need this thing?" And she was like, "Yeah, we can do." I said, "Do you want me to go back in?" She was like, "No." And I was thinking to myself, well, thank God I'd have to go back in, because I probably would have actually bought that chicken and mushroom slice if I had to go back in. But yeah, so it's not getting any easier. Like I said, it's day 5. I've not made a week yet. 2 more days, and then I'm going to have a weigh-in. I'm going to jump on the scales and see if there's any difference. To be honest, I'm not expecting any difference, because it is only the first main week. However, that being said, I've been doing the Huel temporarily, and I've mentioned this before, I've only been using it at work for the past 2 months. So November and December, I was on Huel temporarily, up until I started this daily vlog. And I had actually lost about 9.5 kilos in them first 2 months, which I was really impressed with. Now, I may have, this is one of the things I can't weigh up whether doing this as a daily thing is going to make any difference yet or not, because if I was tapering off anyway from them previous 2 months, then there will be some overflow from them previous 2 months as my weight's still dropping off. Now, it's either that or I'm actually tapering off and then I might increase actually going down and losing more weight quickly as a result of just switching over solidly to Huel. Yeah, so doing a calorie count wise, I mean, there's 40 grams roughly of Huel per little white scoop. So speaking calorie wise, there inside one of these little pre-measured Huel scoops, there is roughly 40 grams. Well, it's actually 38 grams if I remember rightly. In that 38 grams, you've only got 153 calories. Now, if I'm only having 3 of these per cup, you're talking 450 calories, approximately, per shaker. So 450 calories, we'll times that by 3, so that's 1,350 calories. Now, yes, I am adding an egg on, so that's another 150 calories. So at the moment, that's another 150 calories. So that's only taking me up to 1,500 calories. Now, the average male needs 2,500 calories and the female is 2,000 calories. I am still 1,000 calories underneath where I should be. That's a third, over a third less than my calories than I should be eating. Now, it's a big difference not to be eating that much. Now, whether my cravings are solely responsible because of my massively reduced calorie intake now, it could be that. Or maybe it's just one of them things that I'm still trying to get over my 35 years of solid abuse of eating everything and anything that I wanted to eat. The amount of junk food I've eaten over the years is astronomical. And don't get me wrong, if I get to day 30 and I'd suddenly decide, you know what, I'm going to try this permanently, then yeah, fair enough. But if I get to day 30 and I say, you know what, fair play, you've done 30 days, let's go out and have some real food. Because I'll tell you what, I'm actually thinking about this. When it gets to day 30, and even if I do it out for a real meal, that is good. Wherever I eat, it could be the worst food ever, but it'll be the best tasting thing I've eaten in probably months. Just because my body's been craving it for that long. And again, I want to just reiterate the point, there is nothing against the flavour for Huel. There's a lot less palatable things out there in the world. And to be honest, when you're mixing it up with your flavourings, it's actually alright. So if you're going to give it a go, I would recommend it. But you've got to really bear in mind that it's not going to be easy. One thing I would strongly suggest, listen to the advice. Like I said, listen to it when I said about cold, but one thing you definitely want to listen to is don't go full blown straight away. I reckon for facts that if I went to try and do this from the word go and I went, you know what, I'm just going to give up food tomorrow and I'm going to go straight to Huel, it would not have worked. This would have been a complete train wreck and these videos wouldn't have even made it to even day 3. So I'm glad I tried to taper myself in a bit with it. But yeah, so it's just one of them. So yeah, that's the end of this vlog. I said I feel like every day I'm going to struggle for content, but yeah, I'm looking at the record timer now and I'm at like 13 minutes here. So, you know, I don't feel like I'm doing too bad. Anyway, so thanks very much for checking back in again and checking out this daily vlog. Like I said, this was day 5. If you've not seen already, please go back and see days 1 through to 4. And if you've not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and also make sure you drop me a comment down below. It's really appreciated. So it's getting late now and it's time for me to go to bed, so I'm going to cut this off now and quickly run upstairs and edit it to make sure it gets out for 7 o'clock for all my regular subscribers. Thanks very much. By the way, I am absolutely made up today. I've gained 3 subscribers from somewhere. I have honestly no idea who, why, or where, but to my new subscribers, hey, hi, thanks very much for subscribing. It's really appreciated. To all my current subscribers, you know I love you all. So yeah, I'm at 73 subscribers, and I'm really chuffed with that. So thanks very much to all of you. Really appreciate it. Right, so seriously, I'm going to go now. Right, so see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.